Hi guys. So I decided to do my research on masculinity, and if you've ever had a conversation with me, you know that I like to focus on toxic masculinity in older text because a lot of early literature shows how toxic men, especially, were to women, but honestly, how they were to other men as well. So I started my research and I went down several different little rabbit holes looking for different things on the topic of masculinity. And I found the article Disability, Masculinity, and Sentimentality in Lepard's The Quaker City by Carrie R. Voller. I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly or not. So during this time period, authors started writing a lot of the sensation novels or like city mystery novels. They liked to focus on elements of Gothic literature. Lepard and Poe were actually friends, so a lot of Lepard's writing style has Gothic elements in it, so like the creepy dungeon-like place like Monk Hall is, death and revenge and murder and all of the little creepy elements of Gothic literature. Um, Authors during this time also spent a lot of time writing about their personal beliefs and their critique on what was going on in their world at this time. So we see a lot of people telling other people how they really feel. So Lepard was actually super interesting to research. He died fairly early. He died in his early 30s, and he died of tuberculosis, which was in his neck and lymph nodes. So it wasn't the common day like TB, lung TB that we're used to hearing about. During this short time, though, he called out a lot of issues that were going on during the 1800s, including how the church tells people to treat other people. So just a little bit about Lepard. He lived a very short life. Like I said, he grew up in Pennsylvania and was the son of a farmer, and his father later became a shopkeeper. Everybody thought that Lepard would go into the ministry, so his dad sent him to school for that. And essentially that did not work out. He did not feel like the church was treating people like he thought people should be treated. He was very stuck on how the church wanted to ostracize people, and he wanted to be more inclusive about what he was doing. He wanted people to love thy neighbor, and he really wanted that. So after that, he started to study law with a family friend, and then the Great Depression happened. And so he became a writer, and he really focused on writing for the poor, the working class, or the poor person's perspective. He uses Quaker City to really call out how the world treats poor people and the working class. And I think he throws some elbows about Christianity and how the church tells people to exclude other people. So Uh, Voller said that The Quaker City was the nation's most popular novel before Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. Both of those were directed towards the working class. Lepard actually wrote his stories in a newspaper to start with because his audience could afford them at that point. Lepard also talks a lot about deformity and disability in a metaphorical way in how men treated other people and how they acted during the time. So if you look at Devilbug, he is deformed, and there are a lot of different spots in this story where he specifically talks about Devilbug's appearance and how he was deformed, and this was meant for people to kind of have a heart and have some sympathy for him. And then Devilbug murders somebody, and how are you supposed to feel about that during this time period? So Lepard uses toxic masculinity in pretty much all of his male characters. Fitzcowell is super toxic. At one point, he makes a mention of, you need to do this before he kills him, essentially. Then Devilbug obviously murders somebody in this section. There were men who were drunkenly planning a rape of a woman, and all of these things could be seen as toxic traits today. So, the last thing that Lepard does with Quaker City is he gives people who are disabled a voice during this time. That was not something that happened a lot. So, Lepard takes this time to call out wealthy men for how they treat other people and how society worked against people with disabilities. So my questions for discussion are, do you believe that working class people understood that Lepard was fighting for them through this writing? Do you as a reader sympathize with Devilbug's character, even though he does murder somebody? And when Devilbug murders the old lady, who do you think Lepard is referencing? Because a lot of what he is writing is directed at something going on in the historical world at that time. That's all I have. Thank you.